you know, Evil Geniuses are feeling pretty confident coming into map number 2, and they sure as hell looked it. And if they take this victory, even though it was a 2-1 victory yesterday up in their match, though, that's pretty standard, I guess.
think that's as high as it goes.
Yeah, because we've seen a lot of 9s.
Yeah, either that or they don't want to be any meaner in that until it's like 15-0 or something, and then they'll just be like, yeah, let's just put it up to like 45 or something. But
then they have the potential, like, that's a lot of money you could make if they one time
yeah,
they do
like,
win.
I'm not doing it for 9, but give me 45, and then maybe there's a small part of me that's like, hey.
Well, the tough thing, I think, for Complexity is that they're starting on the CT side. And with chat already saying that they realize the communication's not there for them on a map like Nuke, it's going to be even more difficult. Shazam, actually, just as we talk about it, they pick up quite a few kills right off the bat. But Breezy picks up a triple. Where did that come out from? Keeps them actually in this round, as Stanislav's going to be the last one alive against 2.
Have they not seen the bomb?
They have to assume it was there.
Yeah, but Blame hasn't moved.
I know, but I don't know why. Yeah, it's like out in the open.
Yeah, he's actually going... maybe expecting, because we saw the ramp push come in, that maybe Stan wanted to go through vent. So maybe expecting him to already make it through that way. But hey, this isn't a bad situation for them. Sure, it's looking like they're sort of splitting up. But if Stan can isolate one of these duels, hey, I think he could actually turn this around. Like, Breezy gave him a really good chance within this one. Blame slowly going to be making his way back. I think Stan just sort of wondering why there's nobody covering the bomb, as I was. Maybe just because it would have taken Blame a while to get there and didn't want to get caught off on rotations. Instead, he's going to start getting deeper into this site. We'll be able to hear if Stan just starts running or makes his move. He only has a singular flashbang to get anything done, and no Kevlar as well, so chances are a fair amount of damage. He may just fake this plant just because he has enough time. Yeah. Give him an extra second or two just to see if anybody's going to push him. This should now be all the information, and the problem is Flameless right at the door. Peekaboo.
Yeah, but he still got the bomb down.
Knock.
Well, consider he's
Who's
1
there?
feet.
Blame
That's definitely not what I would want to see opening the door. But luckily for me, I could easily run away because there's no way he's getting through that door for him.
Could you imagine though if like he was like a Jehovah's Witness or something? I'd convert. It'd just be like, do you want to listen about Christ? Yes. Yeah, yes I do. Please.
No? Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm sure. You know what? You changed my mind.
I've become a believer. But Complexity take the round. I think you even saw some confusion out of Stanislav's play there. It's like wondering, why is no one protecting the bomb? Why am I allowed to get the bomb down? They have invested. Look at this. 3 SGs. They lost the round, and they come out almost with the better buy.
Yeah, this is the Tilt Chad buy, is what I'm gonna call it. We've seen him ranting and raving on Twitter, and to be fair, I kind of agree. Like, this is a little bit ridiculous that you look on the purchase on the other side, and if anything, EG have come out with the better buy after losing the round. And it wasn't even particularly close. Only Breezy really doing the damage. It's just that extra bomb plant that really helps out, and of course those 3 kills mean that he can get extra weaponry. Flame F though, he's got the counterpart. The AUG ready and waiting. Does manage to open up. He's somewhat isolated, and I think he has at least managed to drop one of the weapons. Nice shot from Shazam as well. Off the scout, gets a second as well. Pinging shots. Leaving just Stan. Well, he spotted out Def. A little bit of information there. Now they know exactly where he is, and Def will be there to trade the frag out. So, 2-0. SG is going to be retrieved as well, so that's some extra weaponry that will be had for the CT side. And I suppose that's the one real detriment of it, is if somehow you lose that round, you now give all of them over to the opposing side. This was really nice from Shazam.
Yeah, fantastic shots. And ultimately, getting them the round and keeping the 2 SGs into the next round. You're going to see Rush with the MP9. 4 nades, by the way, though, for Evil Geniuses. Trying to think back to matches yesterday. And United were a team that, at least on Vertigo, did so much utility damage up against Evil Geniuses. I think they approached, if not past, 1,000 in that match. Rush is going to have a lot of company coming straight through the smoke. But hey, that's the ideal weapon to have in this situation. And he's going to have 4 kills and a lot of extra money in his pocket as well.
Yeah, balling. $2,400. $7,600 at the beginning of the round. And Yeah, this is exactly what you want. Like, that's the one worry, is when you're starting off on the CT side, if you get off to a slow start, you lose the pistol and you go 3 or 4 rounds down, then you're almost in panic mode. But the fact that Complexity have been able to weather the storm, they win the pistol, the follow-up, gain a lot of cash, gain some weaponry, that's going to be a good sign. This is like the best opportunity for them to have a strong map versus EG, who, as mentioned, they go into this one fairly confident. This is a comfortable map for them. Sure, they start on the tougher side, but we saw how prominent they can be on the T side. Not dropping a single round in the previous map. Well, Breezy hoping to try and get an opener through the smoke. Rush has got very aggressive. Of course, he doesn't even have an SMG, and, well, doesn't even have that anymore. Still, the nade going to whittle away Breezy's HP, and Def even starting to get tagged up elsewhere. It is almost a little bit of a bonus round here for the CT side, still having a scout and an SMG, and the finances will be there to buy into the next round. So at a minimum, we want to see some cost achieved. And while the execution going to be beginning, Obo on the site using an SG of his own, lines up 2, and he may have just won it for them. Def manages to pounce at the end. But what a big round from the youngster. It looked like it was slipping away from him after the early battles, but a spray down like that makes things very easy.
Him and Def together. 2-man hold on the upper site. Evil Geniuses might feel confident on this map, but so do Complexity so far. 4-0 start. 2 SGs still in the hands. Actually, sorry, 3 SGs in the hands of Complexity. And they have a lot of money to spend after this, so even if Evil Geniuses are able to scrape by and get around, it's not like Complexity will be short on weapons in the next few. Interesting wall of smokes, by the way. Let me just see it a little bit closer towards Secret. Not actually utilizing it, however, but they've been at least able to force Shazam to look in that direction, which might open up an opportunity to get the bomb down here towards upper.
Well, not if they're running into what is the SG train. Obo even going to get aggressive into the hut as well. Has to be careful, because there is another man behind him, but he'll hear Ethan running, and that's the bomb dropped. Breezy still making things costly. Off the back of the Deke, he gets a 3rd. This is already far more than would have been expected in this round. Now the bomb's dropped. If he can grab it and manage to make his way down the vents, there's actually a chance for him to get a plant here. He's more looking to try and win the round out. He does actually have armor as well, so now he's got an SG of his own. I wouldn't even bet against him at this point. He's got to be careful of Heaven. That's where Rush is currently waiting for him. I don't think there's much he can do about stopping him retrieving this bomb, and there's still 35 seconds for Breezy to play with. And this is what I mean, that vent is very much open for business. Looks like he's actually going to plant safe, and this should give him at least a bomb plant in this scenario. This is looking possible for Breezy. He's just got to be careful backing away. Rush is not going to be peeking the angle. I think he's waiting for his teammate to rotate. They're both going to play it from Heaven, and Breezy makes his way around the corner, just trying to find out the avenue where his opponents are coming from. But those shots should give the game away. Smoke going to be thrown onto the bomb. Nice shot from Breezy to get his 4th of the round. And now it's left all onto Rush to save them, and he'll do just that. Breezy with an incredible attempt. 4 kills off the back of a Deagle. It's not quite enough, but hey, that is still one hell of a round.
Yeah, 4 kills, and he gets the bomb down. Helps really eliminate and control the economy out of Complexity, and also gets some, I think, motivation for his team. And it all started with the 2 Deagle kills that he got.
Was this in a 1v5 as well? No, okay. It was 1v4. Like, his teammate died just
basically
afterwards.
1v5. Look at that. Actually, that 3 kill with the Deagle. Well, either way, Complexity still have the 5-0 lead. They lost basically all their SGs, though, only Blame F to maintain his own. And speaking of him, he's actually getting aggressive towards the outside and has an opportunity here to catch them off. Cirque watching the corner, and it's not going to matter. Flashbang comes through yet again. I'm going to keep saying this. Shazam has had so many great flashes in their 2 series now. I always see him in that kill feed.
Yeah, it does seem like he is the flash assist king at this point, which is not the most common role of an AWPer, but hey, I think they'll take it all day long, especially if you have someone like Blame F who can aggress in that manner. Another round looking like it's about to slip away from EG after what was such a dominant map. They go into their choice, and well, 6-0 down is looking indefinite at this point. It is Cirque and Ethan. Ethan yet to even get a kill on the board. Obo just waiting around the corner, and of course, at that moment is where he decides to enter the game. Molotov force back Shazam. Cirque is going to be looking to make his way onto the site. He's got to be careful. Def is so well placed to deny this plant. I don't think there's anything that Ethan can do about that. Now Cirque, he almost just has to try and save his AWP. The rest of the team will have enough money to buy into the next round, but an AWP seems fairly unlikely, and Blame F will execute him before any thoughts of a save can even begin.
So I think we might, or it might be seeing, actually, this is a map that Complexity can play. Maybe when Blame F came over, chose a select few maps for them to practice, Dust 2 being one of them. And maybe another is Nuke. Again, only 9 days to prepare. Yeah, 12 hours a day, but 9 days to nail down the synergy with the team. Especially when you have 2 players coming in that weren't there before is a difficult thing to do. And look at this, 108 ADR leading the way with Rush.
Look at the other side. 9-1-1-0-0.
4 ADR.
I don't think I've ever seen before, this many rounds in, one player have more ADR than the whole rest of his team. That's mad. Like, having more kills, and that's not that uncommon, but to have more ADR than your whole team combined when you're going into round 7 is crazy. Like, that's really unheard of, and Breezy probably just looking around at the moment like, team, really? Like, you remember the last map? Can we get back to that, please?
I mean, Complexity almost have the same amount of rounds they had in the last map.
That is true. They need just one more. But once again, aggression coming out from Blame F, not shying away from a fight. And Tarek seemed like he was going to check for this, but instead he opts to just make his way through onto Secret. And just wait patiently to see if there is any sort of back away. I'm interested to see who actually comes out on top in this battle. Like, is Blame F going to be able to pick players off? Still making his way further forward. Oh, it's whether or not he backs away, though. That could be the problem. Although Tarek's actually looking in the wrong direction. He doesn't know that there's still a player outside. It's quite a peculiar battle between the two.
If Rush can stall with his Incendiary, maybe Blame can actually get behind them in time. This is going to be coming down to timing. Are they going to push through this one? Smokes come down. Shots coming through. Blame can pick up the pace now because he's being very cautious about this, and he actually might catch them completely behind. This could be Complexity taking the 7th round. Spots at the first, has them locked in. Incendiary out of himself as well to help keep them there. And Complexity are looking like a completely different team on this map.
Yeah, I like how he doesn't even bother challenging. Just the knowledge that he is behind them is enough to really halt this play. The whole idea was to split between ramp and Secret and make this a play into the B site. Instead, they've had to double back around because they've lost too much control. Shazam even peeks in and nets himself another kill. There's literally 20 seconds left on the clock, and they have gained barely any ground. The only player to do anything so far is Tarek, looking to get in from behind, but this is such a last-ditch effort to try and make something of this round. Tarek needs this kill instantly, and he is going to get it, but there's still so many players to deal with. They have to run into the site. Stan going to get the bomb down with a second to spare, and Tarek has found another one, looking for a shot with the AWP, but Rush comes in from behind and ruins any plans of a clutch. Even still, they brought it back a little bit, but at this point it doesn't seem to matter. 7-0, a very strong start out from Complexity, and the fact that they are challenging EG without any level of fear or worry about playing a better opponent really is impressive. Like, Blame F is just making this like it's another day in the office. Like, okay, I'm playing against just like maybe an MDL team or like any old EU team. I'm just gonna push, find fights, and I'm gonna win them.
EG now back on the buy yet again. Mac 10, they're going to pick up the pace. They got aggressive on Mirage. They're doing it yet again here. Shazam's able to block them off and hold them back. Smoke's coming through, and Ethan tries to rush with the help of a flashbang. So speaking of Rush, he's still going to be here. He's going to pick up the first, but not able to get the second, though. Neither is Blame F, as they're finally able to get some control of ramp, some semblance, and potential to get around on the board. Dev's still going to be here, as well as Obo. They're going to need this kill, and just like that, Plexi able to equalize, but for how long? Def, I'm not sure actually how he escaped, or he's gonna push back in with the smoke, but Cirque's gonna be there waiting, holding the angle. And now Oba left in a 1-on-2.
Yeah, he still has the health advantage. going to double back around? I thought for a second that Stan was going to look to go in the other direction. They're waiting patiently. Obo maybe starting to get a little bit worried about the possibility of a flank. In fact, he's going to go checking. Nobody there. And he will hear the bomb going down on the B side. So that at least lets him know that his opponents are around this area. He still has a very good chance in this round to actually take it, but that's going to be the cue. That's the information, and Stan connects the shot. Finally, EG get themselves around on the board. It's a scrappy one at that. I don't think there's any real worry for the CT side of getting a buy back onto the board to try and break them once again.
I think Breezy's wondering, where have you guys been? You finally started to show up here. I thought I was playing by myself. But Complexity not going to be too deterred from that. They still have a massive lead, but we've seen so many times teams be up like 7-0, 8-0, 9-0, and then let the next consecutive round slip away from them. See if they can prevent that from happening and maintain this advantage on the CT side. Again, pace being picked up by Evil Geniuses, rushing straight towards outer. While the smokes, I would assume eventually going to be coming in here, unless they want to go for the pick themselves. And there we go. Does give them that control of secret.
Pick up the pace a little bit. Def has rotated around already. Actually, a little bit of support coming out from Rush, but he's only on the ramp, so it's mainly going to be Def. I think the idea here is maybe get a pick, try and run away. In fact, he's just going to keep with the information, try and hold on to this portion of the map. Nice kill onto Tarek at least. Will he expect Cirque to be this far forward, however? No. So that will still keep things even. Rush looking to make a play, but he loses the duel versus Ethan. Now the rotation's coming in from, oh, this deadly duo once again. Blame F and Obo. Brothers in arms. Cirque already holding down this point, but Obo wins the battle. And that gives them decent space now to get back into this site. The only worry is the fact that Breezy's still holding onto any ramp control. Blame F actually seems very far away at the moment. The bomb is actually doubling back around though, so he may have got this spot on. As he's lurking back, there's not a whole lot of time. If he gets into heaven, he actually has a chance to deny any sort of move that they're going to make. In fact, they're going up the ladder. He's going to hit absolutely everything. Blame F has got this spot on. He's going to drop one and drops the bomb as well. Possibly the biggest player of the game so far as Breeze now left with just a matter of seconds to get the bomb down. I don't even think he has time. He's just going to have to hold on to his weapon. There's no time to get this kill, and Obo will put him down. What a play from Blame F. What a read at the end of that round. And that was just phenomenal.
I think credit also has to be given to Obo as they're pushing down Secret, getting that kill into Cirque. Force them to go back up towards the upper bomb site. But Blame F, yeah, what a play out of him. You mentioned like he's very far away from his team. He seems to be far, but it works out perfectly for him because he catches them at the exact right moment. And the second spray down, by the way, to Stanislaw was just amazing.
Maybe those arms are actually just brains. Like he's just got extra brains within each bicep. Because that was just the biggest brain play I think I've ever seen. Like he just knew that they were going to be doubling back up towards the A side.
You have to remember, because his body's so big, his biceps are so big, people don't realize he actually has a massive brain in his head.
Glad you said
It makes his head look smaller. And he's shown it. He's played amazing. He's taken complexity to a whole nother level, it feels like. Yeah, he's going to die here, but still. It wouldn't be me casting without something like that happening. But he's really like made a good impact within the team, it seems.
Well, still early on within this map. At any moment, EG, they get 4 or 5 rounds, and who knows where this goes. Can't take their foot off the gas, even for a second. We remember Breeze only having himself a deagle just a few rounds ago and almost managing to get the ace, so already a man down, and SG picked up Ethan, even going to catch out Shazam. Obo at least trying to make a go of this. And he does have support within the site with Def. Obo even going to drop the bomb into the open. That could be enough to actually steal this round away as Ethan comes pushing in. It's just trades with Def getting 2. It's left onto Tarek, and he hits the shot with the CZ. A big clutch play to get them that round. So close within the end, but they've managed to steal it. Could this be the start of a T-side? Because these last few rounds have been very close.
a round that Evil Geniuses shouldn't have been able to win either, considering all they had was pistols. Ethan helping to open up the initial fight, and you look at Complexity's side, you would imagine being up 8-1 at the time that they would be able to buy up for the next consecutive rounds, but as we can see, they've got absolutely nothing, just some SMGs which you might use to get aggressive on.
Yeah, this is the worry. This is what sort of happens with the economy at the moment for EG. In the old style economy, if they'd been reset like that, we would almost be looking at a 10-1, 11-1 scoreline. But because the loss bonus doesn't reset anymore, it gives EG far more of a chance to get back into this map. They go back in with pistols, the extra money, utility in the last round, and just that SG being stolen away made things that bit more interesting. And, well, Blame F. His aggression this time not going to pay off. It seemed like he'd be able to get the drop on a couple of players, but instead he falls early. And this is a full investment as well. If EG get this round, they pretty much have a fourth guaranteed. So they really are back within this map, and that is the danger. Those backwards and forwards rounds not only benefit the T side, but especially benefit the team that has the loss bonus behind them, because they're continuing to make money in those scenarios, whereas the other team that's been winning prior is punished for it, which I do admit I think is a bit harsh, but that's how the economy is set up at the moment. Now, well, with 30 seconds left, it's looking like this is going to be a push towards the B site. There's only really Rush standing in their way. If he can drop the bomb, that would be perfect. Instead, he gets Cirque, but Breeze is not going to give him any more of a chance. Nice shot from Obo, at least. Turn things back into a 3 versus 3. This round is definitely doable. The only real problem is they don't have a kit, and they don't know how far this T side has already managed to get. There was 2 players waiting for a long, long time for the bomb to come back around. A very safe scenario for EG to get themselves a plant. And while Obo, I can't really blame him for looking to try and save the SG in this sort of scenario. He's had some massive rounds so far, 13 and 5 over 100 ADR, so maybe next round he can be a bit of a hero.
The thing was, it was still a pivotal round considering Evil Geniuses didn't have much money either. Yeah, they had the loss bonus behind them, but Complexity's starting to let things slip. And you look at their side still. What can they really invest into this? Will they invest too much into it, or just allow Obo to play around with the SG and maybe try to pick up his weapon if he does fall? I wonder if their answer is just going to be aggression. I mean, we saw Blame F that round. He had the ump on the outside. He tried to look up towards the top of Twinkie, but that's not the position I would want to take if I had that kind of weapon, and unfortunately did perish in the round. But into number 12, EG with the SGs. And the M4 Pateric. And Obo, who's going to be currently looking to be the hero, as you mentioned, Tom. And it's going to be a lot of pressure on this young player, especially against the team of Evil Geniuses caliber.
It does seem that every single time EG need a clutch round, Tarek steps up. Like, you think of yesterday on Inferno, when they were struggling a bit, he gets a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, that should never happen.
You have in the match, or the last map, where he's able to sort of like walk around by the connector, and I think again he gets a triple kill. When the round looked like it was slipping, that was after Shazam gets the opening pick. The round just a couple ago with the CZ, where he gets a 1 versus 2. Like, he may not be the man always at the top of the board, getting like the most like high numbers, like 20 plus frags every game. But I'm pretty sure that every single match you watch him, there will be a round where you go, yep, that was the Tarek round. That was the round that switches the game back into EG's favor. Rush is doing a damn good job with this SG, though. Finally put down by Ethan, and Blame F left with just a deagle. He can drop the bomb, maybe there's some hope, but Stan is there to close out this round. A 4th now on the board for Evil Geniuses, and they're slowly dragging this back, and this is the worry. Like, with all those close rounds, with all the clutch scenarios that did go in Complexity's favor, it felt like there was always going to be a time, at least for me, I don't know about you, where EG finally break back into this map, and it has happened.
Well, we also have to think about that Complexity struggled on the CT side of Mirage, and them already getting 8 rounds is not too bad, but I don't know if T side necessarily be enough, and I don't.
Different scenario.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to go into. Is I don't know if their T side is that good that on a map like Nuke they can look to take that lead they had on the first half and close out the actual map, because we still technically would have Dust 2 to come up if we get there. We've seen that Complexity can play well on Dust 2 as they did against Cloud9 and just absolutely stomped them. 16, well, it wasn't a stomp, 16-13. It came down very close, but at the beginning it was. But you're right.
Outside has been really tough for them to deal with. Like, a lot of the times players get a few rounds like that and then get shut down. I will say I think Stan is also very good at doing that on the CT side, so we'll get to compare and contrast how he's actually going to play it in the second half. Of course, for EG now, they want to be getting at least 5 or 6 rounds. Like 4, I would say that is the minimum, like going into the next half, and you're still quite reliant on the pistol, otherwise you can be pushed out of this map. So with already a strong start, the only real worry is the fact that Complexity have 2 flashbangs and only 1 kit, so they're still in a bit of a tough spot here. EG are very good at getting into rounds very late, and already Ethan finding 1 kill with 40 seconds left on the clock. Spots out Shazam. Obo still going strong within the site, though. They're actually going to double back towards this B site. Again, they already have somebody set up.
He just took 80 damage from that Molotov that was thrown in.
Rush is the main man to watch, though. He's the only one anywhere near the action. Cirque, he's playing dirty. He's basically trying to stop anybody getting down this vent, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Hold those rotations. Now getting back into the round seems very difficult because that kit is gone, Jason.
I think Ethan did spot out 1 player, just trying to be careful. Flashbang being thrown through, but actually it would let them the kill. I honestly didn't expect that to happen. Stanislaw would be there to help protect the weapon and ideally pick up these kills. BlameF comes in, but he's going to be looking to help assist Obo, who's going to be on top of the bomb. Cirque coming in, trying to be the savior for the round. BlameF's going to be around the corner. He gets the tag, he comes back in, but BlameF gets the kill. Will the time be there? And unfortunately not. Evil Geniuses will take the round.
I'll be honest, I think they should have known that there wasn't enough time on that. Like, because I sort of called it a moment before where it's like, they didn't have a kit. So the second they're going for that fight, sure, it's great that they clear out the remaining T players, but I don't think there was ever a moment where they were winning that round, even though it came down to maybe a second or 2. Like, I think that's quite clear when it gets into those scenarios. So instead, they've just lost all of their weaponry. And just look at the effect it's had to EG. Absolutely nothing. Like, they're sat there still with full weaponry on every single player. Sure, there's an AWP missing, but on T-side Nuke, I don't even mind. Like, I don't think it's that much of an advantage unless you're really desperate for picks. And over the last few rounds, they haven't been. 5 now on the board for EG. If they get this back to 7, wow. Especially after this being, what? Was it 7-0, 8-1?
Yeah, 7-0. They went 7-1.
That will be a real kick in the teeth. No matter how good of a half you would want to be having or whatever your starting number is, if you start 7-0 and you don't get double digits, I think something's gone wrong.
Well, Breezy's able to take down Def. Again, not really expecting too much with Complexity and the weaponry they do have. But as you mentioned, what did it take for Evil Geniuses to get there? A Tarek round. A big clutch out of him with the CZ. And Evil Geniuses have woken up. Obo trying to use a CZ. Speaking of the weapon, does get the kill. Not able to rescue the gun, though. And Tarek, the perfect timing, coming around the corner, takes down Rush. But Obo's still going to be here. And, well, he was there for just a quick second as Ethan takes the head clean off of him. And leaves all on BlameF and Shazam as they try to go for the push back in. Is he actually going to save the ump into the next round?
Probably not.
Or
I think this may just be, yeah, an attempt to get an exit or 2, because he will have enough to buy into the next round at least. But it seems like a lot of the early damage that Complexity were able to do has definitely dwindled. And even in the last map, they were very good at working things with the pistols. And this round looks very easy for EG. 8-6. They have definitely stabilized and started to build into this. And it's sort of what I was talking about earlier. There is no moment where you can give them anything back into this game, because the second you do, they'll grasp it with both hands. And, well, we've gone from 8-1 to 8-6 in what seems like a blink of an eye. And they haven't even broken a sweat. Whereas on the other side, I guarantee now that's where the pressure's going to be there, because you're like, okay, it wouldn't have mattered if we'd sort of had a back and forward and it ended 8-7. Although that's not a great half, you would have been like, okay, we can still do it. When you're 8-1 up and this happens, that's where you start to really feel the pressure.
I think a round win for them here, too, would actually help the morale within the team. maybe spark something back within them that got them that 7-0 start. Look at this, actually just walking completely around the outside, trying to hit towards upper. And Terra, they push straight through mini. They get themselves 2 kills, and they get themselves a third as well. Shazam tries to peek in towards the site. Not a single chance for Complexity in this round, as Evil Genius is just systematically disposing of each player. Rush finally is able to get one back, but he still has 4 more to find, and it's going to be so hard for him to actually attack from upper heaven.
Yep, it's done. I think this is something that I'm a Pet sort of spoke about in the interviews, that when they start feeling different things, maybe getting good spawns and like realizing what's working, that's when EG do really become a dangerous team. And you can see in that last round, that was literally them doing what Dust was talking about on the desk, where they just all gather up as a group, they go pushing into a site and just like use their individual skill to their advantage. There was nothing particularly strategic about that round. They were just better than Complexity, and that is an incredible comeback after what was a dominating start to this match from Complexity. We'll see if there is going to be more of the same, and if they can take the pistol in the second half of this match.
And we're back now with the second half on Nuke. See the current KDs from the teams, and Shazam having a rough start, forward 12, not to point him out in particular, but obviously when you're looking at this, that's what you gotta see.
Did.
And then Breeze as well. Breezy with the 9-kill start when anyone else on his team had 1 max. I think it was just 2 other players actually had a kill apiece, but everyone else has been able to step up. Tarek in particular up to 9, Ethan up to 10. And those odds have barely changed.
It was in the first 6 rounds he had more ADR than his whole team combined, which is definitely worrying. But maybe he's trying to continue that breezy. That is beautiful. Stuck alongside him. Well, it doesn't get much worse than this for Shazam. He could more than double his kills if he gets this 1v5 ace, which,
What would you do if he did?
leave.
Come on, Shazam. Damn.
Don't lie, you didn't believe in that even for a second. Well, the cheers are back. It definitely seems like EG are enjoying themselves once again. After dominating their opponent's first map, they make a fantastic comeback. It was 8-1 or even 7-0 at one point in this match for Complexity, but it was a 6-round streak at the latter half that gave EG, well, what was eventually a very good T half. Now they go into the favored side of this map, win the pistol, and yeah, from here on out, it's going to be a rough road for Complexity. They're going to have to really strut their stuff and pretty much show what all those days of work have been for. Unfortunately, it seems like EG are just going to be too much for them here. Of course, these early rounds, you can't really take too much away from them, but this is just fantastic from Ethan, just making money. And not even going to be killing him off at the end. It will be another round on the board. Of course, nothing really invested into that one for the T side, and we can now expect them to get those wonderful SGs alongside the AKs on their first buy.
I'm amazed actually he survives this as well. Some great cover coming in though. A good flashbang out of Stanislaw to keep him alive. Well, there we go. SG's coming in. 3 of them for Complexity. And this is the question for me. They've shown that they can play decently well on the CT side of Nuke. Obviously not as many rounds as they wanted, but considering Mirage was just a very quick affair and they didn't get a single round on the CT side, it was an improvement. Problem is, EG are as solid as they can. Okay, well, I was gonna say as solid as they can be. Ethan almost able to get a second onto Shazam, and Rush able to win out on the exchange against Cirque. Stanislaw and Tarek gonna be up against 3. They have the hell. Tarek might be able to catch up Def here, and he does get the bomb down, and now puts it into a 2-on-2. He's got great coverage of the bomb as well with the man in heaven. I was gonna say a man on ramp, but Stanislaw, that was too close for comfort.
Yeah, Stan's gone surfing, and
we are in California, so.
well, he's creating waves. It's left on to just Rush. We'll hear the gun hit the floor, but is he going to be able to do anything about it? Yes, he does. Stan doesn't expect him to be so close, and, well, it seems like he fell off his surfboard. It is going to be the T's able to get their first round onto the board. The problem is it was such a costly one once again. This was something we sort of mentioned with them, that building up cash was very difficult, and it almost seemed inevitable that eventually EG would break them. They're going to come back in with what is not the best purchase either. A few bits of utility missing, only a singular kit, no head armor, which for Oboe, and in fact Death, is going to make a big difference. Even having a FAMAS onto Tarek, so we'll see if that plays any part. They did manage to win a round or 2 in the last map off the back of a FAMAS, which is impressive. Especially when the rest of the players didn't have too much invested. Breezy going to be getting very aggressive. Overly aggressive. I thought he was going to go through the smoke for a second, but decides against it. Falls back to the site without too much information gathered. There's still lots of players on the other side, and Oboe, well, I'd sort of be expecting Oboe to lead the charge here. Instead, he's the second man in. Does get 1 kill. In fact, Shazam is able to catch Ethan missing his spray. Cirque, caught out by the Molotov as well, will be forced into Flame F's loving arms. But even still, Tarek has been able to make this at least competitive. Stan gonna be rotating his way through into heaven. Fake flash. Oboe looks away. He's been bamboozled, but it doesn't matter, because by the time it actually comes in, he's facing the right direction. And while Tarek, with no kit, I don't really see how there's any way he could win this round. Maybe make things a little bit more costly for them. Running away. He does actually manage to get 2 kills, but Shazam is there for a trade. Once again, it's only 1 man surviving for Complexity, but this time it doesn't matter so much, as there's not enough money for a purchase in the next round for Evil Geniuses.
I like how you talked about being pushed into Blamef's loving arms. More like crushed.
I don't know. I'm sure he gives a great hug.
Yeah, so good that you're not going to feel the lower part of your body anymore for the rest of your life after.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll talk to him after this game. See if we can set something up. I think you're seeing some results, though, in kind of their theory crafting that they've been doing. The fact that they throw the Molotov up there and BlameF's already ready to just receive the man that has to back away. I think you're seeing the theory come into a reality.
He definitely always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Like, I think it's evident that not only is he like very good individually, but he clearly has a good read of the game, which I think he is an invaluable player for Complexity. I think the price for him was high, well, rumored price, but by the looks of it so far, it has been worthwhile, and I'm actually looking forward to see a team with financial backing that he can build. Because obviously with Heroic, there's always going to be some question marks or who they can buy. Although they have built a very good team, they're never going to be the likes of Astralis or North with the backing that those teams have. Although they seem to pull off some pretty impressive rosters with that amount of money. The difference with Complexity is, okay, sure, not everybody's going to want to move to NA, but anybody who is, Complexity have the finances to purchase them, and with what they've done so far, with not a lot of time, I think it's impressive. And at the moment, they're looking to take themselves a further lead on their opponent's map choice, their opponent being a current top 3 team in the world. There's not really anything you can say bad about what's happened so far. They beat Cloud9, who's also another roster which is being built in a similar fashion, like Daps being given the option to choose the different members of the team. If anything, like if I was going to put the two teams down on paper and the purchases, I would say that Cloud9 probably did a better job with the amount of talent, but they beat them. They're now doing a good job versus EG, although I'll wait until the end of this map to see if I'm going to be thoroughly impressed, but it's early days, and I think he's done a great job.
I think he also likes how eager the rest of his team seems to be. We heard earlier on with the interview with him and Rush that, like, when Rush heard that BlameF was joining the team, he's like, yeah, let's go, I'm in for it. And he brought over the European practice regime with them, and they seem to be enjoying it. He's talking about how they don't really scrim that often, at least in North America when they didn't have him on the team. And now they have him there. They're doing 12 hours a day, a lot of theory crafting going into it, and then, of course, the executions into scrims. And like you're saying, the work's been paying off, and I'm curious to see it. I'm really pleasantly surprised to see how well they've been able to do, and want to see how much better they get in the next few months.
At the same time, if he was sitting next to me and they went, oh, what happened when you found out that BlameF was coming? I'm not going to be like, well, you know. Like, you're like, yeah, it was really exciting. He's massive. Can I sit? Can I have my own chair?
Well, it could be. No, maybe he's got a workout buddy.
That's true. That's true. If Rush gets more swole, then things are going to be scary. But here we go. Back in with the buy. Still not a fantastic one. No AWP to be seen. Definitely some pieces missing from the puzzle for EG. At the same time, the money not ludicrous over on the other side either. Rush is still sticking with the MAC-10, maybe because he's looking to get very aggressive onto this B side. They've wrapped all the way down the ramp. It's only really Tarek to be there, but as said, he seems to have these clinical rounds, just these step-ups when the team need him most. Support even rotating in the form of Stan. And Robo, oh, there's no way. How does he manage to escape that? Shazam actually very well placed here. Ooh, gets a little bit dicey, but now gives away his position. That gives Tarek that extra bit of info. Damage done, but Shazam actually gets the kill. Keeps them competitive. In fact, gives them the advantage. Even getting rid of Breezy as he looks to rotate, it leaves just Ethan and Circle. They may even have to question whether this is worth saving. Shazam's just gone off in this round. 3 kills to his name, a 12th being put onto the board for Complexity, and EG starting to let this map slip away.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Complexity on T-Set and Mirage, they didn't look too bad. It was a CT they started to struggle. I wanted to know what kind of T-Set would they be able to bring on a map like Nuke that's obviously going to be way more difficult than your Mirages. But with Shazam hitting some entries, I think he had 4 kills at the end of the first half. Been able to almost get exactly that just in this round alone. The battle's not done just yet. They still have quite a few more rounds to close this out to take it over to Dust 2. And Dust 2 should be very interesting. Very, very interesting between these two teams if we do get there. I would love to see Cirque be able to have a better performance than he did in their match versus United. Obo on 20 kills. Stanislaw uncharacteristically having a slower game than what we've seen.
Yeah, especially considering he's normally the one playing a lot of entry frag roles. That might suggest why they were off to a little bit of a slow start. It does seem like they switched that up later into the half. Either way, blame F is going to be able to get that initial opener. Spy, of course, from EG is not great. Got Tarek only with a USP and... Oh, sorry, with a P250. Can't even read, it seems, but... Actually going to be left smoked off. I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and make hero play and Def ready and waiting to shut him down. It does seem like they're very aware of any potential aggression coming out from their opponents. Rush, he's so low on HP. Surely this has to go the way of Tarek, but never mind. He can't get anything done, and a flawless round on the T side is going to send their money skyrocketing. And now they're only, what, 3 rounds away from taking their opponent's map, and doing it on the T side at that. However, I've still got the last half sat in my mind, Jason. They were 8-1 up. They came all the way back to 8-7. They now got that streak going again. And now we finally have a good buy on EG's side. So is this going to be the moment that they start to grind this one back?
Well, Cirque's got the op. You know, there's a possibility for it. You can see they're trying to push through the door. He's going to get the first shot onto Rush, and they might have just stopped the push coming through. You can see Def and Blame F, though, able to just charge back into the site, clear it out completely, and now get the bomb down.
Is this even worth the retake? Smoke going to be thrown in to try and gain them a little bit of ground, but the counter's already there, and I wonder if EG may even have to just try and save their extra weaponry here, give them something into the next round. It's another quick one coming out from Complexity, and the change of pace just seems like something that EG are unable to deal with. It was something, again, I remember Pat mentioned in the interview that it just felt like when they went for these faster rounds, Complexity couldn't cope. It seems like they're suffering from the same thing here on Nuke.
Interesting enough that Complexity actually just back away instead of going for the chase. Look at the money they have. I almost would have expected them to try to take away these weapons and potentially secure another round on the board, but that's going to be 14. I'm trying to listen to what he's saying. Something about waiting 5 seconds and then going. Either way, this is looking good. Honestly, wouldn't have expected Complexity to be able to beat the likes of Evil Geniuses on this map. But hey, maybe I was right in the prediction that this could have been a map that they prepared for specifically, since Blame F obviously has a lot of experience on it, coming from Denmark.
Even still, though, like the fact that EG over the last couple of days, and obviously when they're over in Sweden, were pushed so far, it's starting to worry me a little bit about where this team is, or where they're head at with this team. Like, maybe it's one of those things where it's like they are sort of getting a little bit too casual with some of the rounds, and maybe not doing the research that they did when it came down to obviously the top teams and the big matches in New York, or like the sort of syndrome of when you finally get that victory, you relax. Like, because that was the thing, they were never, well, that was the first like major tournament they were able to win. And since then, the Counter-Strike they've been playing just seems inherently worse, like, or inherently more inconsistent.
I mean, I think we can all put an asterisk next to Mamo for them.
Yeah.
But it's not like they've gotten any better really since then, it seems, or improved back to the level they were at in New York.
No, I think if they played how they did versus E United in New York, they would have been out much earlier in the tournament. Yeah. I think they can admit that as well.
Let's see, Cirque. I think he's had enough. They come into this line of sight. I think he's just going to take heads clean off all day long. Molotov's going to be thrown in to push him out of his position. Hits the first shot and does get away without taking too much damage. Spots the bomb as well, more importantly. And Def, who I think that was on the flank, is actually picked off. But again, Shazam's come up big for them when they needed it. Cirque's still hitting shots, though, going to be chased. He's not able to connect, though, unfortunately, on Oboe. And now it's going to be down to a 2-on-2. Breezy trying to flank in from ramp. Ethan trying to win. Oh, that was way too close for comfort.
Yeah, I think they probably realized, wait, one of the last people alive is blameF. He could be absolutely anywhere on the map. We might as well go have a little bit of a look around and see if we can find him. The worry now is, oh, they are going to double back. All the way round. Breezy.
Oh, he's going to catch.
This is all going to come down to timing. Breezy, I think he's got it just right. That will be the execution and leaves just Obo alone. He knows where one of his opponents is and just looking to get the bomb down. He's not going to have enough time. Breezy around the corner is there to close out the round. A triple for him, and that was so close, but not quite enough for Complexity. It seemed like they had the right read just at the end, but I think this time blameF just gets a little bit too curious, and unfortunately the timing isn't going to be hit there for him.
You talked about it though, like the fact that they needed a round in these like just clutch situations when they could have gone into map point for Complexity, and then Cirque steps up this time for him.
Well, even still, there's going to be buy after buy coming in. Incendiary thrown down. Death. Oh, I don't think he's made it into the vent. He's missed it. I think that was the attempt at least. This could work out in his favor, although I think Ethan is more than aware that this could have happened. Smoke going to go into the door. Is he going to check this close angle? He is. Spots out his opponent. The thing is, he can't do too much about it. Going to be dropping off, trying to support Breezy, who peeked the angle. Somehow Def has managed to escape just about with his life. And in the meantime, his teammates have used the confusion to make their way back down on towards this B site. There is, however, a man waiting. I think Stan has had enough of these rotations and just looks to sit right at the bottom of the ramp. Bit of an off angle. The only worry is he is fairly in the open. Like, it's a weird position, but I don't think it's anything they're necessarily going to check. But if he only gets one kill and then is traded, it's worthless. He has to do more in this round. There's only 40 seconds left, though. Once again, blameF just seems to get himself into positions that I don't think his opponents can necessarily expect. However, they've gone aggressive themselves, so this site is looking relatively clear. Breezy, if he moves even a millimeter forward, will be opened up to blameF's angle. Somehow he's still surviving in this corner, and now the push comes in. Breezy has everything to do. There's the first bomb drop. He gets two. A third even comes up for Breezy, and now they have to run and try and get this bomb down. He's given them a chance, however. Once again, a player stepping up for them. Stan knows there's a man up in heaven. He's going to try and go outside, spot him from there. It'll take him quite a bit more time. This is, again, just timing for blameF, but he's caught. And he's left Obo alone. It's the exact same scenario as the previous round. A 2 versus 1 for the youngster. This time the bomb is at least ticking in his favor. Cirque going to be running into the site, loses his head, and Stan coming back in, but Obo wins it! The youngster with a 1v2 clutch, a big one for him to win as they now take map point. And well, there hasn't been too much time for the economy to build for the CT side. I do wonder if they're going to have enough money to actually get a proper purchase.
And poor Breezy, getting those 3 kills from that vent position and having it not be enough in the end. But then again, when you have shots like that coming out of Obo, what can you expect? Double max 7 in for Evil Genius, 2 M4s and a FAMAS, and no kit either. So if they're going to fight this one, they have to fight up close and personal and prevent that plant from going down or be ready to retake quickly. This rush again, looking for secret control. Takes the head clean off of Stanislaw. Took a lot of damage for it. It gives them the man advantage that they want to close out this map. And look at blameF again. Basically, help win the last round for him by going up in towards heaven and calling for the rotate back towards the upper bomb site. I mean, Ethan's in a good spot to use this weapon. The question is, will he even come his way?
What is blameF just waiting? In fact, he came around from behind. He seems so good to just like sneak into positions. Like, must be quite frustrating.
That was the bomb too.
I think he does exactly what Fur does. Just gets into positions on the map which are so difficult to play against. This is done. Breezy left in a 1 versus 5, and they know exactly where he is. All he can do is get a single frag, and what a fantastic T-side coming out from Complexity. I think the man on your screen at the moment, or the man taking up most of your screen at the moment, is the one